Hi everyone, Tyler here from TW-Waytek. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a date table in Power BI. So let's get started. In this video, we'll start by discussing how to create the date table using both DAX Calendar and DAX Calendar Auto function. Second, we're going to set up both calendar year and fiscal year columns. Next will be the last part of the date table setup, to include marking the date table, setting up date hierarchies, and then setting up the month column sort. Lastly, we'll review the date table in a report with both the calendar and fiscal year. So let's get started with creating the table. Go to the model view in Power BI, go to the Home tab, select New Table, and to start we're going to use the calendar function, the DAX calendar function. I'm just going to go ahead and paste in the formula. I'm calling the table dates. I'm calling the primary column is date. And with the calendar function, you enter the date range manually. So I'm starting in 2020, going to 2030, and starting in July, ending in June. And this is because of the fiscal year, which I'll talk about a little more shortly. So we can go ahead and hit enter. So there we go, we have our table called dates with the first column date. We're going to go ahead and change it from date time to just date, and then we'll use the short date. And if we take a look, you can see all of our dates, 3,652 records. So that's the first step. I'm going to do the calendar auto function, but actually I'm going to do that near the end when I show you the table in action. So for now we're going to just work off of this data set. Next we're going to set up the calendar year columns, and we're going to be using DAX formulas for creating each column. These are going to be the columns that we'll be creating: calendar year, quarter, month, month number, which is used for sorting months, calendar year month, calendar week number, day of the week, day of the month, and day number. And all of these columns can be used for time intelligence type reporting. So let's add those and see what that looks like. All the date columns, calendar year date columns are in. Now let's just take a quick look at those. So we have our year, calendar year, quarter, month by just 3 digits, the month number, the year month key, which can also be used for sorting, the week number, day of the week, day of the month, and year month day key. Next we're going to add the fiscal year columns. So let's take a look at what they look like. So for the fiscal year, we're basing it off of the start of the fiscal year on July 1st, going to June 30th. So everything we do will be based off of that. So for the fiscal year, we'll start with FY, and then it'll be starting at the dates greater than 7. Fiscal quarter, fiscal year and quarter combined. Fiscal month number, same as the calendar year, we can use that for sorting. The fiscal month, fiscal week number, fiscal year month key, again for sorting, and the fiscal year month day key, which can also be used for sorting. So both of these columns combined with the calendar year columns are what we use for most of the time intelligence reporting. So I went ahead and added those columns, and let's take a look. So starting from the fiscal year, so we have FY 2021, fiscal year quarter FY21-Q1. First month number is July. For the fiscal month, I normally put the year plus the month, just because depending on the start of the year, there's going to be a difference. So it's nice when you're looking at the calendar month to know actually which year it's in. So the fiscal week number, again, first week starts in July, first month starts in July, and then the fiscal year month key. Fiscal year month, and then fiscal month day key, which again can be used for sorting. Next, we're going to mark this date table as the date table. And to do that, we're going to come up here, click on the table, right click on it, select mark as date table. Mark as date table. So we're going to select a column. This will be the first column that we created. We created the table. Important to note here, it has to be as a date column and must contain only unique values. So select that, click OK. Now this is the primary date table. Next, we're going to create the date hierarchies. Since we made this as the primary date table, it loses the automatic date hierarchies that it would normally create. So we actually have to create those. So I'm basing all of our hierarchies off of the date column, and we'll do one for calendar year and then also one for fiscal year. And to do that, you just right click on the column you want to create the hierarchy on, and then just select create hierarchy. So we're going to want to use the features down here to add the different columns we want in the hierarchy. So we want to start with the calendar year. Then quarter, then month, and then date. And then we'll put them in the order like so. And then we'll apply the changes. And that'll create the hierarchy. And then we're going to right click on date again, create a hierarchy. This time we're going to do it based off of the fiscal year. So we have fiscal year, fiscal quarter. We're going to use the fiscal month, and then we have the date, which we can put at the bottom. Oops, this is fiscal month num. We want fiscal quarter. So we have fiscal year, fiscal quarter, fiscal month, and date. So now we have our two hierarchies. I'm going to name the first one calendar hierarchy, calendar year hierarchy, and fiscal year hierarchy. Oh, I can spell. And that takes care of that. The last part of the setup we need to do is the month sort. So we want to go to the data view and click on month column, and then go to sort by, and then we're going to sort by the month num. So otherwise, because this is a text field, when you do any type of sorting, it will sort in order by letter, not by the actual month. And we're going to do the same for the fiscal month. come up, click on the fiscal month, go up to sort by, and for this we're going to use the fiscal month num, and that'll make sure that they're in order based on the fiscal year. Well, I downloaded the AdventureWorks Data Warehouse 2019 SQL Server database, and then I connected Power BI to it. And what I'm going to do is, or what I did was I introduced the date table that we just created, and then I marked it as the primary date table, replacing the existing date table. And I set it up the exact same. I set it up this way. I set it up using the calendar auto DAX function, and what it does is it'll look through the database and pick the date range based on the earliest and then the latest dates in the data set. And then I indicated with the number 6 here that the last calendar month of the year is in June. So in building the report, I just pulled just specifically from the internet sales and then the products, and then just made, I connected the order date with the primary column date. This is the active relationship, while the other ones are inactive. So let's take a look at the report that I have. So I have a comparison of the calendar year and fiscal year, doing product sales by month, quarter, and year. So for the calendar year, this is calendar year 11, quarter 3, quarter 4, starting in July, having a quarterly total, and then we have an annual total. And for this, I use the calendar date hierarchy, year, quarter, month, date. And then looking at the fiscal year, I use the fiscal date hierarchy, fiscal year, fiscal quarter, fiscal month, and then date. So you'll notice here this is fiscal year is 2012, which was started in July. Notice the calendar dates is 2011. Fiscal quarter is 1, where here it's 3. And you notice the sales are the same, totals are the same by month and by quarter. Same here. At the end of the fiscal quarter, second fiscal quarter, we have a quarterly total, but notice there's no annual total, which is what we have in the calendar year. So same date table, you can create multiple hierarchies, manage different fiscal years or different calendar year and fiscal years, and then based off the same data set. So this is very effective in building out time intelligence reporting. So this is what we do for time intelligence. This is very common. I use these in my role at Microsoft, and when I'm building out either Power BI reporting, I like having the option of using either calendar or fiscal year, since at Microsoft the calendar year or the fiscal year is starting in July, and but depending on the reporting, I sometimes have to go back and forth, so this is very helpful. And I hope it's helpful for you too. For more information on this video and more, make sure to visit my website at TW-Waytek.com. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. So that concludes my video. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to get all the latest technology tips, and to visit my website at TW-Waytek.com, where you'll find even more tips and tricks. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.